From the city that brought you Father's Day, here's the region's sexiest grizzly bear but daddy, Queerly Johnny.
Hello, everybody. It is your favorite host. I have to tell people that I'm their favorite host just in case they're not aware of it. I'm a director at heart, control freak, some would call it. But it's your favorite host, Johnny. Thank you so much for tuning into another fun episode of the QueerCentric. We love seeing you every Tuesday, and hopefully you'll listen throughout. We actually have a very fun show today. Someone that I've talked about on the show back in when we were doing, I saw this wonderful person, which a lot of you on camera, if you're watching video, can see, during Space Queer's Pride Spectacular, because I was so enthralled by the work that they did. So really quick, let me just introduce you to Duck E. Loveless, a Spokane-based entertainer and self-described emotional support clown for hire. The sad clown of Lilac City is joining me in the studio right now. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
I'm so excited. So I follow you on Instagram, obviously, and we've talked on Instagram. I just want to share with people, remind them. So we went to this big comedy night back when Lucky You Lounge was still around. Yeah, I loved them so much.
Lucky You. What
What a great venue it was. So sad that it was. Sold out night. Just a lineup of queer entertainers. And then you get to the stage, and I had no idea what to expect, right? And I like to say that you are, it's like you are a performance artist. Because it's more than just when a drag queen gets up there and they lip sync. And like, no shade to the queens either, as it's great. Or a comedian up there. But it was like this whole, I used to say it was like a Broadway, you directed a little mini Broadway show.
That's such high praise. Thank you so much.
It's exactly what, and I thought I need to know this human. So for anybody, you perform around town.
Yes.
So look for Duck E. Loveless. Because it's always worth checking out. But you're a member of the burlesque troupe in town.
The Bombshell Review.
So
Yes.
people can see you there.
Yes.
And is it once a month?
They are once a month right now. In the future, we might change the format a little bit.
Sure.
But for now, it is once a month.
I think I read that if you're part of the Bombshell Review, if you are just starting and kind of helping, you're a kitten. Did I read that correctly?
Yes. That's actually how I got my start on the stage, was in 2019 when Mr. and Mrs. Stina Ray did the Bombshell Review's first live show, Untamed and Unruly.
I love that.
Which took place at the Pin.
Okay, I don't remember where that was.
The Pin is right above Chicken and Mo.
Oh yeah.
So that was a venue that had
too.
a lot of different bands and queens and shows come through it. We all miss the Pin too.
Oh, for real. And I used to go into Chicken and Mo because I love the owners, and it was just a great place downtown. Wonderful. So I don't know. So what I want to do, we all know that I like conversation and I like to kind of discover someone, as if we just ended up at coffee, because, that's what happens. You have to be, to me, one of the first unique and talented clowns I think I've ever talked to. So this is big. This is big time.
First time for everything.
I know. Yeah, just ignore Kurt. He's going to run around and do a bunch of stuff. But that couldn't have been the first time you started performing, was with Bombshell Review, was it?
It wasn't my first time performing. I had my start more in the Imperial Sovereign Court system.
Oh, okay.
Actually, in 2019.
So in drag proper, I guess.
Yeah. I think the first time I was ever in, I don't know if I would even call it drag now looking back, but I did a duet with someone at the Blind Buck.
Oh, my Lord, yeah.
When I was campaigning for the Miss Wrangler position.
Nice. And so and this is what's fascinating to me, because you did kind of work in the drag, but you are so much more, just because you almost take a little tangent, right? So it is another form, and you were saying you don't know if you'd call it drag, but in the same sense, if we actually look at what drag is, it is.
It is a performance art.
Yeah, because you've created this. But I have not seen in Spokane anything quite like you do, because like I said, when I saw you at you were in a little like baseball outfit a la League of Their Own.
Yes, my Rockford Peaches outfit.
Love. And so you put on like a story. Like there was a definite narrative so it is drag, but it's a whole other piece. What made you think, because I haven't seen examples of that in Spokane. Is there examples that I'm just missing, or where did that inspiration come from?
I think because I spent a lot of time with the Bombshell when I started out, I was pretty exclusively the only one doing drag, like makeup wise and some of the costuming, but I was definitely inspired by a lot of the burlesque, by the performers that, you know, every move is intentional and it's very much can be telling a story.
Yes, exactly.
So I think that gave me a lot of inspiration. And then just, I don't know, hearing a song and kind of you can like see a whole scenario in your head.
Right.
Certain numbers for me, I can just like see the whole little skit almost.
So you are a director, basically. That's how a director, views different things. I have to say also that you mentioned burlesque and, of course, the performance art. It reminds me like aching back to vaudeville. That classic performance. There was, that's all a lot of people had as entertainment. So they would create these whole stories that, weren't Broadway, but they were still so entertaining. Do you pull any inspiration from like vaudeville?
I need to learn more about it. I want to know more about the history of a lot of things, but I would say that there's some of that there too. I also have had the pleasure of working with a troupe in town called the Vaudevillains.
Oh, I like that. Kind of a little spin.
Yes, they have a show like once a year, and I have to say it's probably, to me, one of the most incredible events that goes on in Spokane.
So what time of year is that typically?
It's Halloween. They just throw a killer Halloween show every year.
You're almost there. Is there one this year?
It is. It's a 2-day event, the 27th and the 28th.
Wow.
That takes place at Berserk.
Oh, that's crazy. That's amazing.
They have this way of just making the entire production like a theatrical, cohesive.
Oh, I'm liking this.
Like theater show. It's a burlesque show.
Yeah.
But just the hosts coming in and having a whole narrative. Like last year, it was like Dracula was the host, and the setting of the show was all of the like classic monsters having a birthday party for him at his house.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So they're just so cohesive, and I think that seeing that level and kind of getting to work alongside them, that has been an inspiration too, to like up things from just a typical.
Well, I have to say, I love art of any form, but shocking to a lot of people, you are not the first master of clownery, which I learned today is an actual term, which I love, but that I have actually over the years have interviewed a couple, and a lot of them are now in comedy, but they actually trained to be clowns. And I have to say, you seem so much like those people that I knew. Did you do clown training, or
that is on my bucket list.
That's amazing to me that you haven't.
Actually, like, I want to save money. I think it's the Academy of Clown Arts, ACA.
Oh, I believe it.
Every year they do like a week-long program somewhere in like Alabama or Georgia. Wow. I don't remember exactly, but
I have to say,
I've known people that have gone through it,
in
and I would
Alabama
like to.
is terrifying to me.
It's like out on a 4-H farm.
Yeah, it would need to be. I have to say that's crazy to me because you present your art form like you've been doing it for so long. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And so, the school, they would just make you teach at the school. And so, like I said, I've known these people who have made this their life, and that's amazing to me. So tell me the impetus, that moment that seed hit and went, oh, this sounds like something I really want to do. And where did the inspiration come from?
Oh, that's a great question. I went to my first drag show here in Spokane at Stray.
Oh my gosh.
In like...
That's so long ago.
2016, I think. So I was being exposed to it there. I was kind of getting in touch with more queer friends and people. Yeah. There came a time when I wanted to continue going to these events, but wouldn't always have friends out with me. So I was like, I'm just going to go. And I can always wear my most stylish outfit.
Right.
And I've always been just like a very extra person outside of drag. So, I met some people along the way that kind of encouraged me. On my birthday, I think it was like my 24th or 25th birthday, someone put me in drag for the very first time.
Wow.
And then I kind of was interested in the ISCS, which I mentioned earlier. Yeah. I ran and won the title of Miss Wrangler number 44. Wow. So I did that for a time. Yeah. And the drag was just kind of like a way for me to connect and build friendships and just kind of have something in common. But I would say with the character of Ducky specifically, there's like there's drama in any circle.
Oh, for sure.
So I went through some things and kind of built this character to be very much like, you know, the ugly duckling or the loner sort of. And I had a partner of like 4 years who, he knew I was bisexual. We just kind of had been moving apart for a time, but we were like fighting for it. And then he came back to town because he had like, after we graduated, he went to do like a program in WSU. So we were kind of like long distance again. Right. He came back and out of the blue just broke up with me and told me like, you know, I've made this decision. It's over. Wow. I was just gobstopped. Yeah. And two of my friends were at my house that night. We were going to go out to this drag show together. And I was just like in shock. So my friends asked what they could do. And I said, well, I want to go out in drag too. I want to just like do this sad clown character. Right. I made a sign, and to this day it still hangs on my fridge. It says, "Do not fuck with me. I will cry." And after we went to the drag show with the
I should have that on a t-shirt.
I went down to 9, had my little sign, like big tear painted on my face. I was just getting drunk. I was just like, keep them coming. Right. And I was holding my little sign on the dance floor, and I was crying, and like the response from total strangers just coming up and being like, I see you, I feel that, like, my heart goes out to you, little sad clown. Wow. I just realized like, oh wow, this is a really cathartic. Yeah. And people really resonate with it. Yeah. So that kind of intrigued me. And then I wanted to continue to use that character to just express all these really bold and in-your-face emotions that we don't really get to explore in our day-to-day lives without some kind of like negative association.
Right. And I have to say, when we were talking earlier today, you were like, any excuse where I can get on public transit and dressed in full regalia. And that brings up something interesting. I was reading, I think it was an article in the Inlander, and you had mentioned in there that actually when you're not in drag, you can sometimes be a little shyer, a little more reserved, which is crazy because I would never guess that. But that this character of Ducky kind of allows you, gives yourself permission to go beyond that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think I would just be Ducky all the time then.
I kind of joke sometimes when I say something that's like a little extra spicy, or I make a comment without really like taking the time to respond. I'll be like, oh, sorry, Ducky slipped out, or like, her spirit is taking over me, I can't control it.
I love that. I think everybody needs like an alter ego where they can do it. So for me, everybody knows I played Mary Sunshine way back in the show Chicago. And what Mary gave me was this ability, this person that I still don't know, but I still will get letters from people who want Mary to write them a letter, because Mary's just this, but there was definitely permission to just be body and larger than life. And I think there is something about having a persona, something about putting on, you know, like your wig is bigger than I could ever grow my hair naturally.
Same.
Right, exactly.
Mine's like shorter than yours right now, I think, under the wig.
No way, really?
It's pretty short, yeah.
Well, hopefully not. Mine is short, but not by choice. It's just falling out of my head. What is it? So you discover Ducky. You discover this, which I also think it's funny that you call yourself Lilac City's sad clown, because you don't strike me as sad at all.
It was the origins.
Yes,
it
right?
kind of and now it's kind of like a misnomer almost.
Yeah.
And the name Loveless even, it has its own backstory, because it was not a name that I came up with. It was sort of given to me by someone that like chose not to use it.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of part of that like tumultuous backstory. I call it Ducky's lore.
Oh, I
like
love
the really
this.
secret lore that not very many people know.
I love that. Keeps it mysterious.
Yes, and Duck E, the E stands for enigma.
Oh, I love this. This gets better and better. So now here you are. You've discovered this amazing persona. You put on stories when you're on stage. You have performance art when you do it. First of all, where do you get inspiration for your performances? Let's start there. Where do those things come from? Like we mentioned, I saw the baseball one.
Yes.
Brilliant. So where do these come from for you?
So I definitely, like I mentioned earlier, like to explore those strong emotions. So a lot of the time I would find songs that are portraying some sort of feeling.
Right.
Like I love songs about love and heartbreak and, you know, like sugary girl pop, like feminist anthems, things like that. But when it comes to more of the skits, I guess, I think I was getting these prompts from themes of the Bombshell shows.
Oh, sure.
When I started, it was like we had that one show, and then COVID put everything virtual, and with the lockdowns and everything, I really threw myself into my art during that time. Yeah. And kind of explored, like, I did a song called Cabin Fever. Oh, yeah. That was from this album called The Quarantine Casanova by Chromeo, a band that I love. My gosh. And that whole album is about COVID.
We all had to do something.
But yeah, sure. I guess some of them, like the baseball act, that was something that I wanted to do because I have a little history with Spokane Indians. Oh, okay. So the audio that was at the beginning of that act was actually from my ceremonial first pitch as the first drag queen in Spokane to throw a pitch for Avista Stadium. That's crazy. So it was the announcer, and then went into a song that was kind of a reference to A League of Their Own. Yes. Which I just loved because I love anything that kind of shows like a period piece reimagined with queer history. Yes. Yeah. Or just from that perspective, you know.
What a great woman empowerment movie. And then the series is just, I love it. Yeah.
I think at the first Space Queers that I performed at, I heard Cameron make a joke about the show. And I was like, now I need to watch the show.
It's a really well-crafted joke that I find hysterical. But yeah, so look it up. Cameron Sullivan. It's a really good joke.
Yeah, so that was kind of just things like that. Kind of sometimes it's the perfect creative storm.
Yeah. Now, how long do you give yourself to create this performance whenever you have one coming?
It depends on how far ahead people book me for things.
You're like, and tomorrow.
I can turn it out. Like that first show with Cameron where I made these glasses.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about
She messaged me a week before and said, I had someone drop. Can you get on the bill? And I was like, yes. I did 2 new songs. Yeah. Okay. They weren't as like, you know, intricate theatrically, but I definitely try and give myself like plenty of time. Right. Yeah, like a month more. It just depends on the event.
And what you can do in that amount of time. You had mentioned what I love about your art form is there's a lot to it. You are not a one-note, you know, entertainer. And so one of the things you mentioned, of course, we mentioned earlier that you were part of Space Queers, which rumor has it, according to Jared, if you had watched Jared Lyons Wolf's interview, that it's coming back soon, but he just won't tell me where.
I want to know too.
I know, but I'm looking forward to that. So Space Queers is coming back, but you are amazing. So you have the glasses that everybody can see.
Yes.
You created for that show, but you were so nice, and you created my own pair of Queerdo glasses.
Yes,
that are
you can wear them with the headphones.
absolutely brilliant. And now I keep thinking, oh, now I have the beginning of a Pride outfit for next year.
Yes. There
so
you go.
I love your creativity. So
Thank
your
you.
creativity doesn't really, I think, fit in a box, right?
I try not to be put in any one box for sure.
Exactly. So when I look at your performances, when I talk to you, I see someone that has goals. Someone that's like, I envision this. Where are you taking Ducky?
Honestly, Ducky is just a hobby, like a fun outlet. I don't ever see myself doing drag as like a career necessarily, but I do have a few little bucket list goals.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, performing at Lucky You was like the highest thing on my bucket list. So to achieve that was incredible before they closed. For now, I think now that I have like a drag son, and we kind of have collaborated and talked about house ideals and kind of how we see our family, what we want to do together. We definitely both would like to travel out of Spokane, maybe Seattle or Portland or Vancouver and perform, somewhere.
I feel like there is I guess a niche for it. I really do. I feel like all those places would have you. This is where Jonathan gives unsolicited ideas. You know what would be amazing? This is what I think would be amazing. Is you create a little family, and then like once a month you like partner with Blue Door or someone, and you do these little like 30-minute sketches. It's almost like live sitcom right there in front of you, and someone writes it, and I would watch that. That would be not done anywhere else. I don't see a family of clowns. I have not seen them.
I'm taking mental notes. That's a great idea.
Take those. And then, because I love a good, like the theaters in a lot of these small towns would do serials. It's just a great way to bring people in. Like, oh, there's a new episode of this. And it's live, so it's not like TV. People really enjoy that. And I would go to see that show.
Oh, okay.
So,
a new avenue to consider.
I know. But like you said, you have sired some drag queens. You have drag son. Do you have any others yet?
I do. So I have my eldest drag son. He is kind of in the Tacoma area now. He's been dormant for a long time. I don't know if he has an official name, but one that he's tossed around that I love, and I'm like TMing it so no one can steal it because it's his. Yeah. It's Brother Teresa.
Oh, I like this.
So there's that. That is an old friend of mine that I've known for over 10 years. There's TS Loveless. The TS stands for Tramp Stamp.
I like that a lot.
And then I have another drag child kind of that will be revealed soon.
Oh, I like it.
I haven't made it official anywhere else yet, so I want to wait until
maybe it'll be at the also secretive new Space Queers.
I hope so. That would be awesome. Make a whole act around debuting a child.
I think it's doable. Where did your inspiration for the way you do makeup come from?
Oh, I used to joke a lot about the AFAB person, so assigned female at birth, the AFAB non-binary to like sexy clown drag pipeline.
It's very common.
So I might be one of the few people doing it here in Spokane, but out on the web, I've seen, for me at least, I would say I wasn't interested in doing super just like traditional high feminine drag off the bat because that just wasn't as interesting to me. I didn't feel like the transformation, the character change was really drastic enough. I've always loved kind of like clown aesthetics.
Yeah, it's a good merge, what you have done.
Thank you. It's coming back around. And a lot of my friends here in town kind of play with kind of clown aesthetics as well. So it's fun to see it grow.
Yeah.
But honestly, just inspiration from performers that I admire.
Yeah.
I always love having bright, colorful hair. So all my wigs are like fashion colors.
Yes. Oh, I freaking love the bright purple wig. Where do you get your wigs?
So this one and a handful of my other ones came from a clown in Long Beach.
Oh, I love Long Beach.
Named Lemon Meringue.
Nice.
She did at a time own Wiggles Beauty Supply. So
that's brilliant.
She does these gorgeous wigs and sells them online.
That's so cool.
So she's like one of my long distance friends. I know if I ever wanted to travel to California, there's like a handful of internet people I could just choose to go meet.
Long Beach is so fun to go to, so I highly recommend Long Beach. It's also safe. So that's the good part. Stay away from downtown LA, as we all know. But stay away from.
I know a few in LA too. Lots more clowns in California.
Downtown's scary. See, I love it. I feel like there's a swoop that reminds me a little of Trixie Mattel, and I love that. But then you take just this piece, and then it's all this everything else. I have to tell you, I really think you're one of the most original entertainers I've seen, especially in Spokane. And so that's why I'm over here going,
my little
you
bird
need to
heart
do.
Can't take all of this kindness.
I mean, it's true. I feel like I want you to do everything because that's.
I want to do everything,
right? As you should. I'm actually going to put someone on the spot right now. Kurt, will you turn on the pink mic? So we have this lovely guest who is in here, who asked me today if he could come and watch, see what an interview's like. And I was like, it's not, I mean, we'll have fun, but it's not that impressive. But I am curious because I know Ducky, and I'm curious to talk to you about kind of, as we're talking about what kind of art form it is. So I'm going to have you move that mic towards you. Okay, so one of the big things I want to talk about is because it is an experience when you first get to meet you or when you first get to watch you perform because it's so new. So Dave's curse of being my friend is not only does he get to come in, but now you're in here anyway. So Dave, first of all,
put these things
if you want to.
I don't know what they do. But
you just can hear yourself.
Okay, that's going to be
Some people
fun.
like it, some people don't like it.
That's going to be...
I'm surprised it fit over your wig.
I had to extend them to the max.
Oh, it fits over the beanie just fine, too.
See? Exactly. So, Dave, first of all, introduce yourself to our lovely listeners.
Well, what do you want me to tell them?
Well, what's your name?
I'm Dave, and when I've been drinking, I'm David.
David. Ooh, you're
And that's when you should
exotic.
be worried, is if you're hanging out with David, you don't know what's going to happen.
See, we all have an alter ego.
Yeah.
See? It's true. And we know each other because you are the infamous person who was running sound when I was doing main stage at Pride, and we kind of just took over.
Yeah, so the last several years I've ended up helping Maddie with main stage sound running.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that gathers all the recordings the last several years. This year I want to change that a little bit.
I know, I'm so sad. There were queens on that stage, and that's why we're fixing it this year. You need to perform on the main stage.
Oh, don't bring back
That's on my
PTSD.
list too.
See? Well, we will fix that one. That one we can do something about. So, you've never met Ducky.
No.
Have you ever seen Ducky perform?
I have not.
Okay, so this is
I
great.
haven't done a lot within the community. Just
so
because
disappointed.
let's hear the tragic backstory out there really quick.
Yeah.
Recently I've just been filed divorce papers.
I
and
know. Very recently.
I love that, that's finalized the day before my birthday in January.
I know. But that means you get to celebrate a
Yeah.
new beginning.
Double celebration. Like I had
Yeah.
friends in this weekend. We signed papers on Friday, and all my
See?
friends came in town. We had a good time.
Find the ways to celebrate. See, so this is the perfect time for you to come in and meet an entertainer and a queen and a clown.
An emotional support clown.
An emotional support clown.
If you thought clowns were going to throw me off, you saw my text messages earlier. Clowns aren't going to throw me off.
So you've seen drag shows before, I'm assuming.
Yes, I've seen several from the backside, which
Right,
is
'cause you're
honestly the
always
most.
running.
Which is honestly, my birthday this last year, Maddie got us the upstairs area at 9.
Yeah.
And there was
I love it up there.
the gong show version of the drag show going on that day.
So painful.
And me and all my friends are up there in flannel in the back looking like characters from Letterkenny drinking, watching.
Right.
Mind you, we had all just been watching Letterkenny. So
Right.
like we're talking
So it's
like
perfect. So what did you so you've listened to our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of thoughts go through your head? You're a creative dude.
Number one, do you have your clown license?
No,
Well,
I
wait.
don't have a business
Okay,
license.
so-
Oh, nice.
Okay, so the reason I know this, since we got some Ducky lore today, we're gonna get some Dave lore because
Okay.
hopefully I come back and people want to
Buckle
know
in.
more.
Right.
My grandmother was an actual licensed clown. Her best friend actually had his look trademarked.
Yes,
Oh, we need to trademark
So,
your
like,
look.
I'll
I know,
have something to
like
share.
this is stuff you know nothing about.
I know
And
none
as
of
she's over
this.
here talking about all the clown stuff, I'm like, I know about this.
A
I'm actually
licensed
part of this
clown.
culture. I know there's clown in my blood.
Is that like a driver's test for clowns?
So it's this weird, I'm not entirely sure. Like I was trying to do a little Google, but basically it kind of goes into you have a professional license for entertainment, but it's on the clown side of
I
things.
have that license.
And then there's this
For a
whole
whole other thing.
whole thing that if you're going to do public shows and have loud sounds and stuff, you have to have a music license
This
for the venues.
sounds right. This sounds very similar to when I'm filming things and it's like I'm like shooting in Riverfront Park and someone's like, "Hey, do you have permits for that?" I'm like, "Permits?"
Yeah, it's long-term permits.
What if I know someone in that counts, right? In Parks and Rec. Yeah, I'm like, "No, I don't got time for that. I don't got money for that." Okay, so there's a license that's in your future as well. This is crazy. So have you watched artistic performances by clowns?
Define artistic.
Well, then you need to see Ducky's performance. It is amazing.
Like
I'm not talking about Bozo. This is
I
not
know
your
we
mom's
I
clown.
know we can swear on here.
Yes, we
but,
can.
like I'm a fan of Reddit.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like
What's
you're an
up,
internet
Redditors?
person. So you know there's things this is gonna go over your head. I'm sure this is not gonna go over your head. Like
love how
subreddits
he
called
just
things
assumes
like
that-
sloppy top circus.
Okay.
This laugh tells me she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I may have that one and several others similar in my own personal feed.
Yeah.
You probably aren't going to enjoy it.
I'm not. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. I already followed. I'm right there with you.
So, I mean, for me, it's not a problem.
Right.
Like this is something I've never really had issues with.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you, like you're having clowns and circus people, and you didn't invite me. I'm offended.
No. Oh, I do.
So I
need to
invited
tell that
myself.
story. Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad. There was a story in your eyes.
Dave mentioned trademarking makeup.
Yes. Which yours
So-
needs to be trademarked.
Clowns, yes, there is like an unofficial registry of, like, in the past, clowns would send in a picture of their makeup to some organization. I want to say like World Clown Organization, but I don't know if that's accurate. Anyway, they would paint the clown's likeness on an egg.
Oh, we need
And
to talk about the eggs. We need to talk about that.
Would send a copy to the performer, and then they kept the eggs as an archive. And I think it was like over a couple hundred, and today there's only, I think, like less than 30 that are still on display in some church in like Europe.
Wow.
So,
well, okay. Now let's talk about some lesser known thing. But you paint eggs,
yes.
and they are crazy good. They
Thank
are
you.
insanely good. Is that where obviously the inspiration came from?
That
to
was
do
the
those?
inspiration. So those were part of a gallery. Myself and Christina Villagomez, she's an artist who owns a tattoo studio in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, very nice.
Called Fifth Dimension Studios. So she's really into like immersive art, and she's put on her own art shows. We proposed a circus-themed art show to emerge.
Yeah.
And that took place in August. So we basically transformed the space. And one of the art pieces was we did 30, I think, of these clown eggs. I did 10 based on real people. Christina did 20 that were
you
just
do those
inspired.
really well, and Dave actually just showed me a picture of the what's of the clown eggs. Is that the one from Europe?
It's on the Smithsonian website.
See, this people don't understand.
There's 240 eggs in this collection.
That's
Nice.
amazing. Well, what I love is when you paint an egg and it looks like you. I love. Yes, that's my favorite. Show the camera.
So you need to send that in.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We
to
will
me.
go halvesies on the fee.
Right, I know exactly. So I love. Now, is that something you would like that you do often?
I just did this for that art show that we
You
collaborated
need to do
on.
more. You need to do more.
So I really put my all into it because it was like the featured gallery of Coeur d'Alene Art Walk. Wow. But it was really so fun. I actually thought to myself, I'm going to start my own little cult collection just for
Yes.
fun and just
Yes.
do these faces just for
So
fun.
are those on like? Or did you hard boil? What's the thing?
Those are Paisanki eggs. So the
I have no idea what that
a
means.
Paisanki egg is an egg that you've poked holes in.
Okay, now I
you
get
like
you.
scramble the
Yeah.
inside and empty them till they're
So
hollow.
they're still very fragile.
You wash them out and you are drawing and painting on a hollow egg.
Wow.
So
That's insane. So then what do you do with these, the 10 you created? Where did they live?
they did. There was an incident where we'll say someone accidentally dropped the container that they were in, and one of them got like a little crack in the head. The others were unfazed.
Thank goodness.
So a lot of them were I think it was like half local performers and then half not local people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mail them out
That's
to
amazing.
the people whose likeness.
This needs to be, you
they
need to
were.
do another art show like in town. Like, well, she needs to do something with some of our artist friends like Matt Schwenk. That would be amazing.
Commission some eggs.
That would be amazing. See,
Like,
we've
charge
we've
people
already
to paint the egg as them.
yes.
Yes, commissions. It's on my bucket list now after visiting Terrain this year and having such a good time.
Which is an
I want
amazing show
to
every year.
submit to Terrain next year.
As you should, and as I have no doubt it will get in. Listen, we've already given you, this list is getting so long for you. But I have to say, this has been something you're very easy to talk to, but also very kind
you.
when we interact in emails trying to figure stuff out. This is something, first of all, where can people find you online?
I do have a Facebook page. I'm not as active. It is just my name, Duck, middle initial E,
Yes.
Loveless. I'm a lot more active on Instagram, which
Yes,
is
me
Loveless
too.
Duckling.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, that one rolls off the tongue.
Right. And I find the same thing, that I am way more active on Instagram. I will email on Facebook like it's an email account, but I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Every
those-
once in a
those-
while, I'll put a picture up because I'm like, oh, I probably should do that.
Yeah, those messages from you were very professional, but then the ones I get from you on Instagram are
That's
just
a
like,
whole other world. Listen.
here we go.
Yeah. That's a,
So
The messages I get on Facebook are so interesting. The
Oh, really?
business inquiries that I get through Facebook.
isn't that interesting? And you're going to get a lot more now after this show.
Oh, goody.
I do have to tell everybody, please go find, especially I have a good time on Instagram and your pictures, and you can see pictures of the eggs. They're so much fun. So definitely do that. But where are you performing next?
Gosh, I don't have any performances planned, but you can find me in character out and about all the time. So my next event, I'll be working coat check at Entice's Erotic Vampire Ball.
Ooh, fancy.
So look for the Nosferatu and
Oh, no.
in coat check.
So you work at quite a few venues.
Yes, I try and be, on good terms and just learning from everybody that I can.
Right.
There's just so many amazing, talented people. I'm like you. I'm a self-described cheerleader.
Right.
I love to build
It's
people
fun.
up, make
Exactly.
connections, and just even if I'm there just working merch table, just to get to be a part
Yes.
of that
Yeah.
amazing production is
It's
really
it's
cool to me.
amazing what you can do for people, even if you're not part of like the main event. And I always like to. It's like they say, there's no small actors, just small. No, there's no small parts, just small actors.
Oh, okay.
So no matter what you get, you just make it yours and you fill it with joy. And I feel like that's what you do. And it's what we strive to do on our show all the time. But Dave, any questions as we are wrapping up?
Well, number one, I just went and found your Instagram because
See?
Nice,
Yay.
thank you.
I'm sorry, I might be sliding into the DMs later.
Yeah, it's an also.
Who knows?
Also,
Also, I do want to give a quick shout out because I just saw on your Instagram my queer transitioning son, adopted. It's a long.
You have an adopted queer transitioning
Okay,
son too.
so when I was
is it
with
the
my
same
wife, we
son?
were at a Comic-Con downtown. I was dressed as a character from My Hero Academia, so was the wife, and we met another person who was dressed as one of the other characters. We did a group photo. I'm talking fast to make this quick.
No,
because I
you're
don't want to
good.
take up
You're
all your time.
I mean,
So anyway, we started talking more, and then we got together we ran into each other again at the Ren Fair. And then we were like, hey, Dave's running Pride. We're going down there. Do you want to come? And so they ended up just fast tracking a gay version of the character they were playing, did at the con. And they actually got to go on stage during, probably 2 years ago and dance in costume.
nice.
Which was fun for them because it was their first Pride ever.
Yeah.
But they're a girl transitioning to male. But basically, they've just started calling me dad. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'll be your
that's
dad.
sweet.
You know, we still talk. Their partner, who's going the other direction, confuses me sometimes.
T
but
for T relationships are very special.
I know, but
We love them. We
sometimes
love
my
them.
brain
Siblings.
gets everything crossed backwards.
That's
and I'm like,
why,
what's going on?
That's why we're friends. I'm helping.
The worst part is, so Ray, my son, does Disney princess stuff.
Nice.
So they'll be talking about how they did Elsa or something, and I'll refer to him as a she because, I just saw you as Elsa. My brain said, lady.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they get it. You know, it's not intentional.
It's all in intention,
Yeah.
I always say.
So that they actually follow you on Instagram too.
Oh, I love
so
that.
As
that's
they
how we got
should.
on that tangent. I'm so
As
sorry.
they-
I'm
no.
tangential.
As I
No, I
do
love
you-
to hear that. I love
Yeah.
to hear about people out there.
Any other questions for the reigning clown of the hour?
The hour.
Of the show?
Only the hour.
Always my reigning
Okay.
clown. Always.
I'm
So
just
there you
saying, if
Bless.
we
Thank
have to
you.
see, we have to see how the messaging goes back and forth and where that goes.
I don't know what's happening in the show right now.
Dave's
I didn't
lonely,
say, do
and
you
Dave's
wanna-
just throwing
Yeah,
it out there.
I was like, I didn't say, do you want to ask out my guest? I
no,
wanted to know.
I was saying, I might be.
Oh God, I'm
No,
now running a dating game. Listen, if
You-
NBC will pick it up and pay me money, I'm there.
You put me on the spot. You did this.
Dave, I think you
any
might be
general-
interested in a website called Hunkers.
I think I've been there.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
When it came to clowns, why did you migrate towards clown versus anything else?
Because I felt like it allowed me to make a character that was a lot more detached and different and kind of amorphous, as opposed to being defined in my drag by kind of the restrictive ideas that people have about gender presentation in drag.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people feel like their understanding of it is someone of one identity, gender bending, or portraying the opposite gender.
Right.
Whereas I think drag nowadays is very gender expansive. So
Yeah.
it's not just doing something that's opposite. It can be someone who, like me, so I mentioned earlier, I'm an AFAB non-binary person, so I use she and they pronouns, but in my drag, I might one time be this like feminine presenting person,
Right.
but in the same character, I will do a male presenting number as well. At the Space Queers Spectacular show, I did one feminine presenting and one like masculine presenting. So
it was brilliant too.
for me, clownery was just, I knew I wanted to do something that was just like lighthearted, because my life and my profession typically has been very serious. And I just wanted something that connected me to being silly and lighthearted, and, you know, people aren't going to take what I say too seriously. Even if I'm like reading them and like being really direct, you know, people aren't going to like argue with me because I'm look like this.
Right. You're like, I'm a freaking clown.
Yeah.
You're taking this seriously?
Exactly.
And I actually think what a smart choice, because you were just saying that I didn't think about that, but drag in the RuPaul era is very strict in what society considers drag. But taking drag and then going a clown route with it gives you so much more freedom, because people haven't been able to say, well, this is what it should be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And there's surely contention too around, like, people who are in the old school of thought in clowning and traditional clowning and what should and should not be considered clown. Like, some people look at my character and be like,
I just have to say this for traditional
like,
clowns. Sorry, horror stories, but they have ruined traditional clowns for me. Until this moment, I'm typically terrified of clowns. I don't do.
Some people are still terrified of me.
I see. Well, but for good reason then.
I mean, we did have that clowndemic a few years ago.
Yes. Do you remember when those clowns would just wander around?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Terrifying story about that.
Why can't you wander? See, we need more
Sometimes
clowns
I
like
do.
you.
I have plenty. I mean, I love to be out and about. So,
Yeah.
like I mentioned, I don't do a lot of performances, but I had someone just send me a video of me walking downtown to the library.
I love that so much.
Just a spectacle, because something I love about Duck, and I used to do this at Atomic with their huge display windows.
Yeah.
I would dress up and stand with the mannequins.
That's brilliant.
And I would wait until people stopped at the light, and I'd start moving around and dancing.
That's so much
in character.
fun.
And so I think it takes people out of the ordinary, mundane part of their lives, and they just stop and go, what is that?
See? And we need more of that. And I have no doubt you probably have so many interactions that are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully
Love it.
beautiful and fun. I love that.
Most of them.
Right. I love the bravery that comes with you having this character. I think that's amazing. Thank you for coming in. I can't believe you rode public transit, which, listen, I did it for 2 years. It's always an adventure.
Yes.
With or without clown makeup. Yes. So I love that you came down here. I love that we were able to connect.
Yes,
over
I'm
just
so excited about that.
Seeing a performance that blew my mind. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget it. And so if you get the chance to see this amazing clown perform, you should probably go. That's all I'm saying. It's always crazy. And so I love talking to interesting humans, and thank you for coming on. And thank you for these amazing glasses.
You're so welcome. I'm so excited that we got to talk.
Oh, this is so fun. Well, I have a feeling we will get to talk more in our future.
Yes,
to do that.
Teach me your ways,
and
Johnny.
Next time you are anywhere, I need to know where it is.
Okay, I'll send you a DM.
Yes,
I'll let
please
you know.
do. And remember, everybody, you can catch our show, always entertaining, as you know. You can catch our show every Tuesday at thequeercentric.com. You can follow us on Instagram, thequeercentric. You can follow Ducky Loveless, except it's Loveless
Duckling. Loveless
on
Duckling.
Instagram. I mean, go Facebook, because we need those likes too. But I have so much fun on
I'm on TikTok
Insta.
too.
Wow! Oh,
Same username.
I don't know this. I'm finding you on
I need
TikTok.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do
Yes,
that
if
too.
you want to see another amazing performance,
Yeah.
I have a Halloween one that I did a few years ago for the Bombshell. That's up in 4 parts or something.
Yeah,
on
right.
TikTok.
Like they make you do it. Yeah. So
Well, I mean,
crazy.
now they have the 10-minute videos you can do on TikTok. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God they finally did it. So find Ducky Loveless anywhere entertainment can be found. And if you happen to see them running around town, you should probably say hi.
You can hire me for all sorts of parties too.
Right? And take pictures, commission an egg. I mean, there's so much. We're going to do good things because you are amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Of course. Until next time, Dave.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hey, Tom. Patreon. How's it going? Patreon. I am doing great. Patreon.
Wow, are you having like a stroke or something?
What are you talking about? Patreon. That's just my weird eye. Patreon.
Well, no, I'm used to that, but you're skipping like an old CD. Should I knock you on the side of the head?
Oh, okay. Calm down. Patreon. I read this thing on subliminal advertising, and since we are pushing our Patreon, I thought I'd try it out. Patreon.
Well, very subtle. I'm not sure your version of subliminal advertising is quite the method they had in mind. Patreon. Now you have me doing it.
once you start, it's kind of hard to stop. It's kind of soothing.
And if by soothing you mean nails screeching on a chalkboard, then sure. To be very clear, it's annoying.
Yeah, I picked that up. Thanks.
We could just be straightforward and tell people to visit our Patreon at patreon.com/thequeercentric.
But I was hoping to be cool and stealth-like.
And you were accomplishing neither of those things.
You're always ruining my fun. Fine. We can just tell them that we have different levels of donations and you get cool stuff on each level and even get exclusive things.
Oh, that's the attitude. Your enthusiasm will be really contagious.
Visit us at patreon.com/thequeercentric to support us today. I mean, I swear it's fun, and we will forever be grateful.
There you go.
Patreon.
Come on, are you serious?
Leave me alone.